His Excellency, it's the designer to be with economy. His Excellency Ambassador Oshi Connecticut. Bahamut, yeah, Makamemai. Yanandoti Yanona Connecticut. So London Hapadosi get Yain Beba. I don't know his age. In a few months' time, he'll be 94. Yes. Okay, Gadi Maiga Kowa Makande Odisio Chai Ogibe Mata Dongo. I am Mama ADF. Mrs. Mario. I am ne ADF. Yao Ogiwe.
Kolon Yaka.
Stena Bo Nai Yabasa Edia Patriano. When me here throwing up on an anya, my comrade ADF, what I mean, or them, one of the Libo. I be when I can see Kpakpando, and then I church traditional rulers, and the clergy, and businessmen, political leaders, military officers, and so on, into a platform. But there are ATF, Bojili, with the ADF, and so Yahunia needed the chicha, and Azuka. Think of where I am or the Gahan or Hitchhiker. Where see, Iji Gossi, Nabatiana ATF. Yeah, gave where I am.
Kononaka.
Omu of Opana, Uber Omu of Anioma, Omu of Opana, who do my Opana mean? I used to Nemo. I had decided and I got Louisiana or Igbo Center of Unity, Opana. Russia in Alabata, Ileani Nega home. Now I worked out. He had to study Jewel. That center of Unity League. ADF, Dika Kowarai, Dika Ainonako from time to time. On Asian humanitarian in 2014, Ogai were in Nukunoko and Akbo International Colloquium on the Igbo question in Nigeria. Nzukanu Igbo all over the whole world. 2,500. Mandish Australia, Nishi Europe, Nishi Canada, America, South Africa, and so on, Hungary. I am now for 3 days to marry Echiche for not in Igbo. Shenan Bo Ogatron Twala Nigeria. The router. Not Joe Wansi. Can you hear a problem I want? Can you tie she teach? And then I am. In Napata, I know Munandos or like 109. Musubu. Green Napata, who walk up on the Igbo. Give my head to note. And the Batrani India needed the teacher. Publish here result in 2 books. I mean a book for Igbo nation. Challenges of development and rebirth. When you comment on that book, ihe niile gị chọrọ ịghọta maka ọnọdụ ndị Igbo nọ n'akwụkwọ ahụ. Ọ sị akwụkwọ ahụ onye gụchaa ihe ndị ahụ QED, ya ihe ndị mathematics na-eji akpọ what you want me to prove is hereby proved, that book. Site n'oge ahụ, o wepụta ndị niile dị iche iche ụmụ Igbo. Ndị kara aka ọnọdụ ha dị lara elu n'ụzọ dị iche iche. Ha were nọkọ kemgbe anyị na-agbalị enweghị gị anyị ji. But within 4 years, ọ na-emekwe m ka nghọta na ATF o so na nzukọ ndị nọ n'obi ndị Igbo taa. O so na ha. Ọ na-ezigbo ihe anniversary. Otu n'ime ndị isi anyị abịaghị taa, but ile n'ihu ebe a si na Maazị Sam Ohabụnwa CFA na ya na Elochukwu Amuchazi, former chairman of MAMSA, bana nna ya ukwu Idemezio Mbọ, ruo na Pọs Awuzie, former Vice Chancellor of Igbo State University, and former President of ASU. And only I was saying who know not ASU. Omo you were ASU. In your Kwana Kebe Aho, 19 Woko, Austin, okay, barrister, a very well-known attorney in South Africa. Ushema Baratela Duty, Ibiazuka. Get your lucky one another attorney. I go Akuko, Hyena Noah, Hyena Granada, Igarani Bozi. You need a moment pop down your Machua. Sinna Yoku Ojuku Norata, Yalanda Yokumbakwe, Dana Yoku Menora, Yahoo home nephew people, Yaso Moja. Makaheme na Constitutional Conference ayo. Abacha Kpakpando 3K. O de la Constitution. I am 94, I may ratify. A me election. But on Wagani, Otageji conduct all the business of the conference until they make the election. Abia Quenya, here the Reba Hamo. Now decision I take decision by simple majority. Ocha amami gecheta gina staneke and there was Boromo John C. Manokwa like the conditions of the conference. I am going to plan and work a digital constitution and acquire a ratify. So okay, do all do you have here because I just signed on the future of Igbo and yours. Make the child whereas hang him if you 1 week or 2. No one move on like a naked or a move and make a giant. Now would the first person walk away from this? I love that. I think Mubra is very interesting. It's even more interesting than the abstract speech. So, Menji Diaru Conference, Abuja. Na yuko jukun saya. Henda usamina ulen bi handi tuona yubana batana conference hall. Hingino ikamba nausa machiwa. Sandi agite sai wode bi berebe. Ikamba ogade mo parendu. O eji meka emeya oluzo gad. I made a conference that night. My bayana lift na Sheraton. There are one beautiful lady at that lift. Now the two of us. Yele maya, mele ya, yacho machi. Yasu we will see here. Yasu to na dedicate so basi here. Osim biko na conference ya de bamba. Nikali who Nigeria no know to what defend on the outcome of this conference. I need to seek now the Ukuma decide as the presidency Gagana na Alaigbo. No here Progani Ahuno Juku Humbakwe Wekwe. What has it? The next term of presidency, no Alaigbo. Now the Yorubas are too mountain. I got interested in Haina or Runa late. We spent some time. I was listening more than talking. So my engineer meeting in Barras Plaza. Naiku Ekwemenono, Yadika, future anointed president. Mbakwenora, Yadika, future anointed president. Ojuku not the same thing because I got separately. Say again, let's again with the next president. Onyenka, I give you the next president. Onyenka. So I got my pagi and I saw in this thing. Naiku go put a sign. No alliance with the North, no with the Yorubas, with the treacherous. Don't do. Before then, he went out and was like Igbo position or Hanese prepare. I will get a shock to let them know what is our demand, so they can support us. I was laughing. Of course, they knew what we were going to demand, our position. So I did help appointing all ministers in any reception. Glasses, no. It got Carol and the other. When I entered like here, as I am not because conference here didn't come back. Because Alaigbo, I get shake it hiking with her. Now, Huna do Yoruba also. I didn't trustworthy. Unahonanda also because you don't know why. Can my hand when he came with it through their help? Government, but can't destiny. They are not challenge it. Ghana say, where His Excellency John. Can run against it. This was the simple message. Balance flat, we couldn't get anything together. Come up all mass. But Joshua and Joshua and Nicole. Yawo came to Lagos, sir. I had an idea over my apple happened to do well. Can you buy it? I made sure I got one. And we left Barras Plaza. Our meeting in his house, Napo village. Who were the first occupied the place? 2 weeks. We left Ojuku behind, Ekweme behind, Mbakwe behind, Esjigo behind. We sent delegates to the team. To only South. I had just said, these are our leaders. We are not going to operate without them. I mean, okay, yeah, oh, leadership in them, they can't have before a year. I signed the leader of delegation. I gave way chairman of delegation. I gave way deputy leader and deputy chairman. We're secretary coordinator. No, you will need leader, I saw equipment. No, your chairman, I saw who came back. No, your deputy leader, deputy chairman, I saw about the kids. Secretary coordinator, I saw the whole. I improved it a lot in a balance. Born now, yeah, you could never do it. Why did our committee work? I knew the report I get right. I coach how you did Niagara. They have worked at this thing. They were more satisfied. I belong. Then we meet in Nanke, what of an agro? My friends say, I got me like a man now leave after this conference. What's I'm the city could. Can't get 11 the natural meet the novel. But a lot of things one should say that you can't say them. The novel will be the best thing. So, because all one night also go to one of them and I name we meet you, and they take behind we are not there. They were near Abacha. One of the most painful was when Abacha got distance himself from his ministers or running the show. And then there was a Biola thing shaking the whole country. The ministers themselves felt that Abiola should be released. Abacha was meeting for months, not meeting with them. How we meet here? One night walking, Ochiara, who became Navy commander. He's a Navy commander, sir. Alice Madeke. He was minister at that time. You know, he was the commander of this side. So, here we meeting, my dear, decide they are saying, now how did they confront Abacha with one position that he should release Abiola and so many to ease tension in the politics. So, one night after I meeting on there, Kora and said but Igbo leaders. I am again now, one of our chaps were taping it. We're here and I am meeting Abacha. So here Abacha for a meeting, but I think I'm agree to meet with the Habia. Therefore, okay, I have no hand over retirement papers. That was how they were retired. Well, we continued our meeting. Igbo delegates, Tuesday, Southern delegates, Thursday. We continued. Then some thoughts came to us. And to answer the challenge, the promise I made before Ochiara last time, I think NBC was part of that. About the move I said, what is that move? Like get Igbo delegates, Southern delegates to act, is to try and produce a minimum conditions, demands. All when I meet together at this conference, we'll all go walk away. We set up a committee, myself, Ojo Madekwe, we produced a draft. And we took the same thing to this whole Southern delegates. We agreed. Myself and so on. We produced this thing. It was a well-crafted document. One of these days, I think I'll circulate it at this stage. We gave an international press conference in Abuja. The day we gave it, the whole of Abuja was quaking. That the whole South came together to speak with one voice. One water, I think I understand water is now a traditional ruler. See, I hear, wouldn't I live with the talk of my protection, everywhere alone, oil is protection. What all I say, my honorable son, what you are saying is an ode to. We and Igbos are in the same bracket. So went on, gave that press conference, which should be hopeless, you know. So incidentally, the press conference coincided with the presentation of reports. Onye Kuriyo is part of this story. Akramiana, my little tribute to Naiku Ekwe. You know. Committee number one committee, they were taunting us. I decided to say something. Now this is the one meeting. After the next meeting, they changed it completely. When the minutes are behind you. Until one day I went meeting. Somebody came and told me now, meeting I can be there bed 2, no by 2. I relaxed, bed 2, nature, some after 1, major conference center. Gaffer committee room and every week people fill up. Alex was speaking in somber tone, warning that the way things were going, he doesn't see a future for this country. If we don't achieve getting this country together, we may as well say bye-bye to it. Distributor documents. Les is very good in putting up memo. So, Mabara, Buru, New, or you will not in the war, Pologongo. When you can little lip, one was a Kelia, and no command. I'm ashamed of my former vice president. We'll show you the kind of guys I'm here. So, what did they wear? We are called in accident. Look at number 6 item. What do you say to that? Possible, no problem. It's okay, no problem. You say, what about number 7 item? No. That's not part of the problem. Onye cause of the neighbor, I think Abdullahi, the former, he became governor of National State. Abdullahi Adam Abdullahi, Onye cause of. Main challenge, number 6 item and number 7 item. India policy, no problem. Once I challenge the policy, you are right. You say, will you shut up? You're a bloody fool. Yala Dua, Kawanyama, Marudika, they're all in our committee. So, part of the story was na conference we achieved a lot. Because getting together, when we gave our press conference, in the middle belt had there a meeting led by Alaigbo and Lemade. Sani, now that day was the happiest day in their lives, politicians, to see the whole South speaking with one voice. That they don't really belong to these people. Or when they look southwards, they are deciding. But if there's going to be this kind of unity, we should count them as one. Now, they would like to join our forum. We admitted them and changed the name from Southern Solidarity Forum to Greater Southern Solidarity Forum. Voting, what about the voting by simple majority? Because we are from the majority. The Northern Christians now joined us. So that is why, if you read the history of that conference, instead of voting, we started to what we call the consensus arrangements. So let me now round up. This is part of our history. This is part of why we're here. This is part of the knowledge we should have to know where we are, where we're going. 2019 presidency, UK presidency, coming at this thing. I can run to the bag here on that back and there. We're promising presidency, so much waka because it's so we today ADF came out. Sick Nandi Bonidre or go Hana or go. When I'm going to boy again. And in their manner, we stood firm. We've done a lot of work. We made the brochure guardian. We tried to narrate our history. ADF history, read it, see how much we have done. Today, there are critical problems. We can wrestle this mammoth thing down. We can wrestle it down. If only we are united. If only we have our elders, clergy, traditional rulers, military men, intellectuals, everybody together in one common platform. And then our youth. And then our youth. Over the name of the youth, native and Baraha, I feel like. They also know this wisdom. That's why in Yoruba land they don't joke with OPC. That's why in the north they have not been joking with Boko Haram. Not even with the so-called herdsmen. Some of you heard a few days ago that Kpakpando was justifying the killings. These killings, this abuse, is that doing something that's in accordance with their strategic plan for this country also. South have never called anybody to come and kill the Avengers as well. Respected them on Alaigbo, they buy and take and borrow hand in share and Yana and Leah. So what is before us? Let us get together. We promise you one thing. ADF will not let you down. Come rain, come sunshine, will not let you down. Will not let you down. Some of us are veteran warriors. We may not have been in the military. After I'm in the military, double promotion. So today, ADF, the good thing about a thing, on various formations have all noticed this new phenomenon. And they say, we are going to work with you. Stena, LNC, Rona, Global Igbo Alliance, Rona World Igbo Congress, Rukwana, all of them. Omuna in the North South Africa, in the North Britain, the same message. Now, how is it really named such phenomenon in Alaigbo today? You know, in fact, one or two of them, because of WhatsApp entry, you know, advice on your WhatsApp entry. One or two of our brothers South Africa who left the forum because of WhatsApp entry. Where Austin, I made sure I will sit down and sanitize our WhatsApp entry and other food listings. I don't want to say much. We've done a lot. When you want you to read this and read more things. Only I shall email this today, tomorrow, which we are shelving. One of all the Alaigbo today, the civil war, the war, and the Midwest incursion. The coup has no Igbo coup. As late as a few months, 2 months ago, Shagaya. Upon the military publishing their tribute, her praise Yotia like Babangida when those organized the counter coup. How they countered Ironsi coup. I have one that June 15 coup, Ironsi coup. Today, that's another called Ironsi coup, that kind of thing. I did go one letter saying, tell the world the truth. Now it is. What do you know about that coup? You were Ironsi twice, you supervised the whatever inquiry that took place before Ironsi. You also took over from him. From your findings. Tell all the world what is the motive force behind that coup. Let us even go a little further. Midwest, towards the west. Was it Igbo's in quest of territorial aggrandizement? No. No. Not even on the money. So I can what's important is not filling the hall. What's important is that those who have genuine interest in answering the question, find out the question, where do we go from here? Because me and Irule, we're not even Irule. On our man, you know, here and there. Where do we go from here? So I'm make it learn. We believe na Nzuka, Otun, Nzuka, ị ga-enye aka kpọọ ụmụ Igbo ndị ọzọ ndị nọ n'amị ka anyị nwee courage nye aka jụọ onwe anyị where do we go from here. O nwere ndị na-akọ na ADF pụtara ịbịa ịkwada ọhaneze ladara kewa akụkọ ufe. We have nothing like that. We met World one or twice. We also met yesterday. Jim Rogers has been worried about Igbo at this critical time that they should stand together and fight together. Yanune when a division within our ranks, or this will happen, or you should happen. His whole wife, and brought a message. He was in the meeting yesterday. One night woke not here, whom I rank about the same as General Chuse, as symbols of Igbo national integration. All of us were there. We met later on. Some of our people came to the house. We were there up to this morning. All in quest of unity of Igbo. Where do you go from here? You could let me stop at this point. As I said, I prepared this thing. You read it in the brochure. I think many of all of you can get one. I want to thank you very much.
Nna m gwara m na onye gbuwere n'iko ọ chọpụtara ọ mgbe a kpọrọ m o wee mara.
Biko ọ nwere onye ga-agwa anyị okwu kịta, onye na-adị echebe echiche n'ime chemishi echiche n'ime ike. Ugboro ole ma ole nnọgọ ebe ọ gwara anyị okwu, mfụ na ime omenala dị mma, ịga akwụkwọ dị mma, ime uche dị mma, maka akọ na uche dị iche na edukeshọn. So o nwere ejikwa uche wepụ edukeshọn. Ana m ekwu maka Obi Igwe Dr. Mata.
With due respect to your highly distinguished person, the highly achieved person, a handsome man, intelligent, a man whose name will be written on the positive side of posterity. Man. Distinguished members of the high table, Professor Wan, President of ADF, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my friends and colleagues in the media, I have to speak in English. I'm from Delta State, I'm from Anioma, I have a different dialect. And what I want to say, I want the media to record it properly. I don't want to be misquoted. I first of all want to congratulate you on ADF on 4 years of activity, action-driven activity. I want to congratulate all those too who have supported you over the past 4 years. But as you know, and as NIUQN knows, I'm a pragmatist. I don't believe in dogmas. So, and I have been a media practitioner for decades and an image maker. I am from Okwana Muzobo Stam. We are people who cannot be gagged. We are not appendage to anybody in Nigeria. We, Anioma people, we have never been appendage to anybody and we will never be appendage to anybody. Looking at the Igbo land from Anioma, I want us to tell ourselves the truth. Professor Nwala has told us about the past. So we are now in the present. We have young people here who want to talk about the present and the future, and who want to be practical about what is happening. Where is the place of the Igbo man in Nigeria? The Igbo man in the East, where is his place in Nigeria? If you decide that you are going to be one Nigeria, because we all built Nigeria together. to decide that we will be one because we suffered for this country. It's our own. We are not slaves to anybody. You must make up your mind what you want. When you invited me 4 years ago as the Royal Mother of the Day and Vice Chairman of the occasion, I told people in the East that you have fundamental issues that require incisive decision. Fundamental issues of one, investment of the Igbo man in his land. It is not the Hausa man that is doing it. Please, I want us to disabuse our minds. Because when you continue for decades upon decades talking about marginalization by the Yoruba man, meanwhile the Yoruba man is moving forward. He's talking about our. You're talking about marginalization by the Hausa Fulani. When you hear them speak, they talk about our, okay? And the Igbo man is talking about me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. So you have fundamental problems that require fundamental solution. The first solution is come and invest in your land. There is something Professor Wala you wrote. I forgot to bring it. I quote from there. I don't want to misquote you, and I don't want to say I disagree, but I want to say I have a different opinion. When you say the Igbo man is so mobile that he cannot be contained in one spot, I think something is wrong with that. You can't build your house and run away from your house. The Igbo man is all over the world like air. And there is nobody in the Igbo. The Hausa man is not doing you that. The Yoruba man is not chasing you from your home. It is abomination that the Igbo man will live here and go in the West and invest in the West. When you go to Lekki, 60% of the houses are owned by Igbos. When you go to Kaduna, Kano, everywhere, investments there are owned by Igbo men. They have abandoned their home, the home of their ancestors, the home where they were given birth to, their true identity. Nobody did that to you. You must solve that yourself by divesting your interest and investing in your home. My brothers and sisters, that's point number one. Number two, fundamental mistake you are making here in the East. Worldwide, things are shared by population. Worldwide, China is respected because they are the most populous country in the world. America is getting afraid of China. Why? Because China is developing and very soon we challenge them. India, the same. In Nigeria, the northern man will have 4 wives. Each one will have 6 to 10 children. In a household, you have almost 100 persons. The Igbo man will have 1 man and 2 children. And on election day, you start crying, they are counting chickens. So what solution do you have? Is either the women will give birth to more children, like they did in Iran, when Iran had their revolution. These are practical things that have happened in the world. Millions, tens of millions of Iranians died, and their leaders called on the women. You must do us a favor. Bring up our population. And women were having children. Today, Iran is respected worldwide. So, Professor Wala, I think the problem the Igbo man has, first of all, is to like himself and invest in his land and increase his population. Either by women giving birth to more children or men marrying more wives, the same way they do in every other place. Because our future is at stake. The future of your children, women, please don't be sentimental. Don't be selfish. The future of your children is at stake. When they start sharing cake in Nigeria, the eastern states have 5 over whatever. The northern states have 19 over whatever. And you continue to tell me that me, my wife, and 2 children, I tell you it's abomination. We must do away with it. You must do away with it if your future is going to be safeguarded where money is shared by population. by the number of people you are. See, local governments were created on the basis of population. So, in Yelongweyaka, by continuing with the dogma of me, my wife, and 2 children, it's abomination and it must stop. I want to say that Anioma Nation, where I come from, with due respect to all Nigerians, including people from the East, our forefathers are more advanced than men all over the world. 700 years ago, our forefathers decided that they would keep 2 stools in every community. One for the man, one for the woman. Because God created man. Now, at this gathering, we don't have more than 10 women. God created man. And it has been a world of men. And I'm saying it positively. Because God created man first. And woman second. So woman cannot be first. Man is first. And he gave him dominion over everything. And he felt that man is not complete on his own. So he created woman to be his helper. And I say to women in the East, if you decide to marry and have children, you have to be faithful to your husband. Be a friend, a confidant, a shoulder to lean on. You must inculcate sound societal values in your children. What we saw happen this past 1 year, where there was chaos, means that womanhood has failed in the East. It means that motherhood is lacking. We have failed to inculcate those values in our children that will make them compete with the Yoruba and the Hausa. Each time we gather, we call the Hausa and the Yoruba, whereas the problem is us. Take all the investments in Nigeria that are owned by Igbos and bring them in the 5 eastern states and see whether the world will start looking at you. You will be relevant. When you're relevant, people will come to look for you. Then we say because of religion, we have abandoned certain of our values because of religion. When the people of Israel in the Old Testament asked God, you love us, you made a covenant with us, but we want an earthly king. And God gave them an earthly king and admonished them not to be in a hurry to leave the sight of the king because he's my representative on earth. We have a king here. I expected that immediately after the national anthem and you do the Oyibo prayers, a bowl of kola nut will be taken to the king. The king will touch the kola first before any other person. And he will break the kola nut and pray for everybody. He will break pieces that will go to our young ones here so that that prayer will go to them, so that they can take over from us when we pass on. I noticed that kola nut was brought. It wasn't taken to the king. And then it was shared. After the sharing, before it's taken to go and pray. So Chukuyama Alain if I may pass. My dear brothers and sisters, I said earlier that we are in Anioma the most cultured in Nigeria, with due respect to all of you and Austat and Fulani and others. And I'm saying that because when people are talking of women equality, and I say to them, there is nothing like women equality. There wasn't women equality yesterday. It is not today. It will never be. When you say the Lord's Prayer, you say our Father who art in heaven. You don't say our Mother. So they should stop all this nonsense of... There is nothing like that. It's not God's intention. Equality is not God's intention. God's intention is for woman to actualize her purpose in creation. So where is man failing? Man is failing in the Igbo land because he has refused to give woman space to actualize her purpose in creation. Is there any reason why a woman in the East cannot inherit from her father who delivers her? They do so in the West. They do so in Benin where I spent decades. It is changed on paper. It hasn't changed practically. It has changed on paper. I spoke to Muslim friends of mine when I was in England decades ago. And in Islam, a woman inherits from the father. In fact, Islam permits the woman to retain her maiden name if she so desires. What is the problem that in the East, your own daughter that you delivered cannot inherit from you? It's abomination and a sin crying to God for help. Is there any reason why communities in the East, like I suggested years ago, cannot crown mothers in their communities? The way my forefathers in Anioma decided that there will be a stool for a woman. My community has a traditional ruler. He's in charge of men and male youths and the land. Myself as the Omu, I'm in charge of women, female youths, and the markets, and custodian of our ancestral shrine. And I'm very proud that I serve God through tradition. They kept this seat and decided that the man should have his palace. The woman should also have her own palace. So the traditional ruler has his palace, and I also have mine. He has his chief, I have my own chiefs. However, the chiefs of the traditional ruler are superior because man is first. That's the way our forefathers kept it in Anioma land, from Asaba to Abo. In all the communities, there is an Omu, there is a traditional ruler. Each one is given his role to play because God is not a fool by creating woman. Businesses in the East, the Igbo man is everywhere. He's in Kano. The wife is selling for him. The wife does not have her own business. So you find professional bodies. I belong to many professional bodies. I hardly see an Igbo woman from the East. And even when they put one from the East out of tokenism and symbolism, it is still the people in the East that drag her down. I belong to organizations where there are many Yoruba women, they are multi-millionaires, they own businesses, their men celebrate them. In the final analysis, the money the Igbo woman is making is for her family, for the husband, for the children. She's not making it for any other person. Is there any reason why she can't own an independent business? Why she must be doing receipt for her husband? And when the husband passes on, the family comes and take over. The children will even suffer in the end. So I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, please, stop talking about the Hausa man, please. Stop talking about the Fulani man. Stop talking about the Yoruba man. In Delta State, I told our people, Anioma people, we are Anioma people living in Anioma nation. Today, Anioma people call themselves Anioma nation. In the past, they were ashamed. But today, we call ourselves Anioma nation. And very soon, the federal government will represent us as our own ethnic representative. The world takes you at your estimate of yourself. They will carry you like an egg. And we have said, I particularly as someone have told the Anioma people, that our men are strikingly handsome, that our women are extraordinarily beautiful, that our children are intelligent in Anioma land. And we have fertile land devoid of natural disaster. So nobody can trample on us. If I had the opportunity coming from Opanama, if I had age on my side, I would do more than Zogo, my brother did. We cannot continue like this in Igbo. Because for nothing. Let it be for substance. Please, let it be for substance. Talk to our young people to go and start learning trade, to go to school. Because education is the universal key that opens all doors. Even when you are selling akara and you are educated, you sell more akara. Please, educate our young ones. Tell them to go to school. Those who cannot go to school, let them learn handwork. Let them stop being subservient to other Nigerians in the name of being mobile. What do you mean mobile? Why should your father's house be an aberration to you? Why should the land, your forefathers in Igbo land, they fought and got this land? Did they not fight? They fought to get this land that you call Igbo land in the 5 eastern states. And look at what men in the eastern states have done. You have failed colossally. The leadership, political, from 1999 to date. Is it the Hausa man that is the governor? No. Is it the Hausa man that is the member House of Representatives representing all the 5 eastern states? No. It is men from the eastern states the 5 that are governors, what happened to the money they collected from 1999 to now? What have they done with it? Please ask your people. Ask your people what they have done with the money they collected since 1999 to date. Where the roads they built, where the hospitals, where the infrastructure. That's what I expect that the Igbo man from the East should be talking about, your fundamental problems. Agwa 4 years ago, people in China locked their doors for over a decade and came out, and the world is respecting China. Agwa 4 years ago, whether you are doing the right thing. If you are doing the wrong thing, please, you don't change it by patting on the back and calling the house man. Obro onye outside say hebi kwena be. Obro onye outside say patego, je lo Sokoto, je lo Kaduna, je Zaria, Igbo no everywhere. Na no estate. Na we very iche. I want to use this opportunity to thank Igbo men who have decided to stay in Igbo land and invest in this land. I pray to God Almighty and our ancestors, in finality, Prof, and my brothers and sisters, I'm Masi. Now, I'm by election, or if it's good. So, now I will change to Punyam Kanjasi. Before I leave now, Job on I make, okay, Jibuna Chupana Tawaya will go by a job on one be two, okay, Jibuna will go by a when now you're Chuku. Now you're Chuku in an Igbo, when you know, when you know them, one of the lions, one is a guardian. When Nasi, no, you will be one here with you. No, easy will be one and apply it. No, Calumili, you're free the yan, or no, Wagadelo, no, Wagadelo, Wagadelo, when I say, and this year on a high table, you have seen good days. My prayers for you is that you see brighter days, and that evening life will be good for you. Prof, and my you see, I want ADF to be practical, because often I so you go and say it doesn't turn to practicality. We have wasted our time. I want to see jingles on radio and television. That's one thing that ADF will do that will endear you to people. Jingles in the whole 5 eastern states. Go and talk to your governors, talk to your commissioners for information. Use their local television. Make a jingle in English and Igbo. When I want you there, you come and invest in your home. When they hear it for 1 whole year, your children will start coming back. When I go back, to stop doing baby factory. What I go, or John na more you was a no, or not more nearly. And I need and as if nothing is happening. Something is happening, and God will not forgive us if we don't stop it. So I want to see your jingles. If I don't see your jingles and I don't see the change, I will not want you to invite me to your further occasion, because I don't want to waste my time. It's 4 years now. I'm expecting that if you had that jingle, what happened the past 1 year, where our boys, many were killed, they were shouting, they want this, they want that. In the end, they didn't achieve it. It didn't work out. So it's a failing part on the ADF, because you have said those that were there before, you want to compliment them. So if you compliment them and end up speaking English, then you might as well not exist.
That I was able to represent her properly. When I forgive him, an inspirational speaker, and she has done more than I said. Obiwe Ekenem,